Well, today I invite you to join me. We're going to take a little drive out through Bear River, along both sides of the Bear River out through, and then we're going to come back in along on the way out to Bear River. We're going to be on the western side of the river, or the southwest side of the river, and on the way back we'll be on the upper side, higher elevation, but we'll be coming back on the east side of the river. And again, we'll just see how much spring has sprung, and it's a little bit nicer of a day. The sun is kind of hiding away right now, but it's been a decent day up until a couple minutes ago. The sunshine feels nice, but there's not a lot of heat in it right yet. It's only 2 degrees. That's 2 degrees Celsius. We drove this road back a couple months ago when the winter snow was just starting to fall. We hadn't had a whole lot of snow on the ground yet, but the last time we were down through here, everything was just getting a little bit of a dusting. Out on the mainland, back in where Bear River would be, towards the main portion of the province, there was a fair amount of snow, but as we got out closer to the river, at that time there wasn't, which tends to be quite typical of areas around salt water. Just the salt residue and whatnot from the rivers or the bay can be enough to just, it kind of keeps it in a cycle of falling and melting, and you never really have a whole lot of snow. But this year was a little bit different. Once the snow came, it undeniably stayed for quite some time, until actually a couple weeks ago. And then what we learned here just the other day, this weekend, was that there's still quite a bit of snow out south in some areas. Some of the areas that I know up along the ridge of the South Mountain, we got a lot of snow through the summer, or through the winter time, and a lot of that's still there. But spring is definitely starting to put up a fight now. She's starting to win. further up through here you get into the Bear River, it shallows up quite a bit, and you're only left with just a little channel in the middle. The rest seems to be like mud flats. Stone Fine Art Studio. I believe there's quite a fair number of art studios and wineries out through here. Pardon me. Got a little bit of a hiccup. Yeah, as you can see to the left here, it's quite a substantial mudflat on each side of the river. So coming up through here in a boat of any sort, you'd want to know the tide schedule and adjust your day accordingly. Looks to be some of those little glamping domes down by the riverside. Mind you, that church stands out. And then I don't know if I noticed that so much in the wintertime with all the snow and whatnot, just dusting. It kind of probably blended in pretty nice, but so this is the heart of her. The heart of Bear River. The belly of the beast. You can almost see the whole town from the center of her. Take a little tour to the right. And we'll loop back down around and just kind of see some of the old homes here. Think of the view that they'd have without some of these trees. Can't help but think of what the view would look like from here without some of those trees down to the right of us. Wow, there's quite a... That's probably a wine or a vineyard of some sort across the river there. Nice little house for sale right there on the corner. Now we'll go up through the valley, or out of the valley, I mean. And we'll come back down along the other side of the river. Along our way to Cornwallis. To the old CFB Cornwallis. Nice little homestead farm there. That's a nice house. I bet you some of these places on the left, this here is a nice place. Bear River Winery. That's the place we've looked. That's the place that I spied from the other side of the river. Let me know if you ever been there. Bear River Winery. I believe I've seen it featured in a couple YouTube videos myself promoting the area. But as the person that's usually behind the wheel, I have never been there. Oh, there's a nice view. mud flats look some soft. Quite a sizable little farm right there. Oh, it's so nice to see spring coming back. Feel the sunshine coming in through the windshield. Definitely a welcome sight. Starting to try to count down some days to the beaches. It's almost looking like this weekend I might get to a beach somewheres. It's only going to be like 10 degrees, but like I said, when the sun comes out and the snow is gone, I feel like as Canadian, as a maritimer, it's almost your duty to head right to a beach or a golf course or something. That's a nice house. Nice property. Well maintained. Oh, I'd love putting stripes on that yard. Woo. I'd be taking pictures after every time I mowed. My sister would be so annoyed. I'd send her the stripes one week, then next week she'd get diamond pattern crisscross. Oh yeah, that's me. I'm definitely the lawn guy. It was kind of funny because a couple years ago when I was looking at Google Earth, I come across our house, just being curious and whatnot, you know, you check out and see what your house looks like, and you can definitely tell where mine was, because my lawn was, I'd say, about 12 shades of green darker than anybody else's. Most of the yards were all burnt. Mine was just as green and lush and as you could ask for. It was kind of comical. But if you know me, you wouldn't be surprised. I just look at it as if we're lucky, we only get a small spot on this earth. Some of us don't really even get a spot to call our own. And I figure if I'm lucky enough to have a spot to call my own, I want it to look how I want it to look. And if I want a nice green lawn and it mowed, then I want a nice green lawn and mowed. If I want it to have car parts all over the place, then that's what it is. But to each their own, and that's how I like. I think it was just more or less passed to me from my mother, because she was always kind of a yard. She was always busy in the yard doing something, or in the garden, or something. Now that I've gotten a little bit older, and it's undeniable that I am my mother's son. Not that I ever did deny it, but all you gotta do is watch me and then watch her, and you can tell I'm my mother's boy. Outside all the time, and if I can be, I'm in a garden or a lake. It's kind of how it goes. Well, the old CFB Cornwallis looks some different, doesn't it? From anybody that used to come here in the past, or even used to be stationed here. I bet you this is quite a change. And even to think that now, the last thing that entrance building, the security entrance building, the last thing that's done now has been it was a pizza place. But if you used to go straight down through here, that's how you would have went to the ball fields and the tennis courts. And that's all grown up. I don't even think you can get down in past that guy's driveway now. She's an altogether different looking spot here now from anybody that had ever did any time here through their career. And then if you went to the right there, you used to go to the same kind of thing. It was over to the ball plant, or to the ball fields. Now most of it's a couple of the buildings are used. There's a fishing boat plant here that the shipbuilder, they build lobster boats, fiberglass lobster boats. And that was where we would have seen that forklift there, if you've seen that off to the side. And those red pieces those are pieces of the hull. Sometimes they're in segments or pieces that they can bolt together. It would be easier to keep it like that than to have it in all kinds of. It'd be easier to have it in smaller pieces bolted together than to have one massive hull that you have to split into two to delaminate the boat and everything. I would say they got their hull, it's all split up into 5 or 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces, and then they bolt it together and it takes shape, and then they would lay the fiberglass in it and wait for it to harden, and they'd crack the mold back in half and separate it, and then there'd be your boat. You'd have your boat left. I wonder what all this was like when I was a kid and it was actually still in service, but I'm just way too young. I don't remember it when I was that young being operational like that. I only came down and was I was only ever at the baseball fields with my mother most of the time. Well, there's a nice beach there, as you can see. For some reason they've got that sectioned off and blocked off, so I think this is about the only thing that most people do here now is a decent spot to walk your dogs. I think most of it's just kind of blocked off. I know a lot of it's owned by a developer, from what I understand, up around Halifax. And maybe I've got that wrong, but I know that there is a developer that's got major interest, and at one time had looked to buy this. I don't know whether it went through and it's stuck or not, but a lot of this stuff was, I don't think it was going to be converted, but I think a lot of it was going to be knocked down, and there was going to be condos and whatnot all put up with basin-front views and stuff like that, which, I mean, it would be nice, but in reality, well, they've made the parking lot quite a bit bigger. That's nice. Substantially bigger. Wow. I'm a fan for that.